Welcome back to Titan Vans. I'm Matt, and today we're going to be showcasing a brand new custom rig. This is on a Sprinter 170 4x4 chassis, brand new 2019, and again, custom rig on the inside. So this was designed by the client and built here in Boulder, Colorado at our manufacturing plant by Titan Vans. So we'll start to do a quick walk around on the outside. You'll see up top we have a Fiamma awning. So that's the F80S, designed specifically for the Sprinters. Also on top, a little hard to see, but there's a 300 watt monocrystalline solar panel. And on this particular rig, we ended up doing 2 fans on top. So a lot of times with the 170, having the two fans is generally better for airflow. So kind of moving around over here to the outside, you'll see we installed some operable windows. So these are T-vent style, so they work really well even when it's raining, so they can be used in all weather. So the T-vent or awning style allows water to shed off so you can have them open. Same with our 1033 windows back here. So these are newer designs from CRL. So these are called an AW 1033, also awning style, so they can be open during the rain. You'll see here kind of a small little feature with kind of a nice little porch light on the exterior of the van. So we have a nice little waterproof LED exterior light, and that's we have a switch on the slider door right when you enter there, so you can turn it off and on. Down low here we have an exterior outlet, so just a little waterproof exterior outlet and a GFCI 120 volt. So those are powered directly off the batteries. And then here we have shore power, so just a standard, I believe this is a 20 amp, 120 volt AC input. So you plug just a standard extension cord right into there, and it charges your battery. So as soon as you plug in, the inverter takes over. It's an inverter charger, so it'll start charging your battery, and the inverter will go into bypass mode and actually distribute that 120 volt signal to your entire system. So you'll get power right out to here as soon as you plug in, and then power to all the interior equipment, which we'll talk about in more detail. So swinging around to the back, kind of get a picture of the garage area here. So if you've seen some of our other videos, a lot of kind of standard equipment for us. So we have our water inlet, we have our spray down shower, so we have our control mixing valve here, little 3-way mixing valve, so hot, cold, and pressure. Little spray down shower, press button on the back, and you can lock it in to leave it on and off. So nice little unit there. And then it's got a nice, I believe a 6-foot long hose, and then just kind of feed it back in when not in use. Down low here, this is just a control valve. So this is the on-off valve and the drain valve. So a simple valve to control all operations. You'll see here we have our lower bed platform, which we'll talk about in detail on the when we get into the inside of the rig, but really nice. Gives you some 2-tiered sleeping option, plus maintains gear storage down below. We have our L-track in the floor for cargo control. When the bed platform's out, you can slide bikes in here. So we have 37 inches of clearance from the floor to the bottom of the bed. So works for most bikes. We fit double XL 29er mountain bikes in here without issues, as long as they have dropper posts on them. But road bikes, no problem as well. Our bi-slide bed up top, so we utilize some of our classic components in this custom design to create kind of a 2-tier bed option. We have a switch over here for our load lights. So the load lights are operable from on the back end and then also from the inside, which I'll show you. Here, if you kind of slide around to the side, you'll be able to see in here. So we have our water pump. So we have a 20-gallon water tank down below, water pump up top, and then all of our control valves in here. You'll notice this little slot right here. So this actually has a little tank backlight, and this is your view tube for your water tank. So you can actually physically see your water level as you fill, or if you're just quickly checking your water level. And here we have a hot water heater. So this is a IsoTemp Slim 4-gallon electric hot water heater. 750 watt heating element. It's powered directly off the batteries via the inverter. And nice little unit. It's a marine appliance. What's nice about that guy is it actually overheats the water to about 185 degrees, which is hotter than what you generally want. But then built onto it is actually what's called a pre-mixing valve, so it'll step that water temperature down to a nice normal hot temperature. So you can make that 4-gallon stretch to 6 to 8 gallons depending on your comfort level for the heat. So I'm gonna shut these up. We'll swing around to the other side and check out the meat of the build here. All right, so first thing you'll notice, got the switches here on the B column. So we have 3 different switches. One controls our porch light, so we can turn our porch light on and off here, just a latching switch. We have our overhead light switch, so these are these puck lights that are up here in the ceiling. So we can turn these off and on, and then we can also dim, so press and hold to dim. And what's really nice about these switches, this same switch is in 3 different locations, so you can control this zone of lights from 3 locations, up in the dash, here at the slider, and then back by the bed. Press and hold to dim, and then when you click them off, what's nice about these dimmer modules that we use is they actually have a memory, and so when we turn it back on, it goes to the last known state. So when you set that nice low level for kind of evening, nighttime use, you turn them off, you turn them back on, it'll go right back to its last known level, so you're not getting big, bright blaring in the middle of the night when you get up to use the bathroom. So turn those back up. And then this last switch here is actually for this, what we call our slider door load light. So also dimmable, turns it off and on. What I really like about this light is we actually mount these on swivel hinges. So you'll see we actually can rotate this both to the exterior of the vehicle, so it can be used as kind of another porch light, or it can be slid into the inside of the vehicle to add some additional lighting. So nice little versatile light, 36-inch bar light. It's got some really nice warm LEDs in there. And so yeah, nice little light. We make use of this on the slider doors, back doors, underneath the load light sometimes. So yeah, really nice light. We like it a lot. Cool. Jump inside here. So you'll see, it's a little maybe hard to see. It's kind of black on black, but you'll see the 2 light switches here that control both that slider door load light and our overhead light. So the switch is right there in the dash. Swivel seats came standard on this rig. The Mercedes stock swivels. So they open up the area and kind of create a nice little hangout zone up here in the front of the vehicle. Down below, you'll see the register cover. So in this rig, we ended up installing an Evo 40. So this has little louvers, so you can control that, and then also rotate side to side to kind of point the air wherever you would like. So that's tucked right underneath the passenger seat there. Evo 40 for this size rig is appropriately sized. It's double the BTU output of the 2000 STC and puts out a lot of heat, and it'll keep you nice and cozy even into those winter months. So up top here, we have our headliner shelf. So this is one of our products that we sell as an independent product and install in a lot of our builds. Create some really nice storage up here. We actually have our window shades up here. So it's a nice little home for those, and our window shades that we're designing in-house, also available on our website. This particular one is for those little AW 1033s in the back. They're all magnetized, fold up nice and tight, and you can see it's kind of made out of like a ripstop nylon black, and we have some different accent colors that you can add to these guys, and then a nice little carrying case. So we're making window shades to work with all the windows, so we have a full front windshield, driver and passenger windows. You can see the fan up top here, so these just clip right in, snap right into place, get you some nice blackout and stealthiness when needed, and also a little bit of insulation. So they're 1/8-inch insulated window shades, and they help trap the air in between that glass and the shade to really help both in summertime and in wintertime use. So all right, moving on. Little bench seat. This is not a DOT approved. There's no seat belts in here, but just a nice little hangout seat. The cushions are attached back here with just some snaps on the back. So we have little snap buttons here that help to retain it. And so those just clip right onto the wall, keep it from being able to fly around while you're driving. Same on the bottom cushion here. And then underneath we have storage as well as the toilet. So a little cassette toilet. Simple, kind of stows away. We didn't create like a permanent home or kind of easily accessible home for it. Just made it nice and stowed, so more for emergency uses, but it's there when you need it. So, and then a lot of additional storage underneath there for duffel bags, shoes, all that good stuff. All right, moving on to the Galley. So, little kitchen unit in this guy. Pretty standard for us. So we isotherm cruise 130 fridge. We have a single burner induction cooktop on top. So that's powered directly off the inverter, which we'll kind of talk about how that operates here. But induction is really nice, uses magnets to create heat. So the magnets work with any type of pan that a magnet will stick to. And the induction cooktop will flip the magnetic field back and forth really fast and actually creates, makes the molecules in the pan vibrate, and the friction of those molecules vibrating actually creates the heat. So what's really nice about that is the cooktop's not actually getting hot. It's just the pan getting hot. So what's cool about that is as soon as you take the pan off, the cooktop is immediately cool to the touch. So the pan is still hot, but the cooktop is not. So you get a lot of your like working space back very quickly because you don't have this hot heating element sitting there. And it's also really nice for safety reasons. You know, the stove will never, turn on automatically and start producing heat on its own. It will only produce heat if there's a pan sitting on top of it. So really nice unit for a lot of reasons. Safety, very fast to heat up, and extremely efficient energy-wise. So over here we have our stainless steel faucet, both hot and cold water provided by the hot water heater that we showed you in the back. A little cutting board, ash countertop. So this is all solid ash counter, and a nice deep stainless steel sink here. And this guy just slips right back in there to get you your entire counter space back real fast. A couple of doors for some storage down below. So these are all marine style latches, rim latches. They all lock into place. A couple of bamboo drawers down below. Everything on soft close hardware and all rim latches, so just lock them in. Over here on the right, we have a large storage cabinet. So we did some adjustable shelving, and these shelves have a little bit of a lip on them, so they'll help to kind of hold things from sliding around and kind of falling out. And then when the door's shut, they pretty much close right to the edge of the shelf to act as a block as well. But these can be moved up and down to adjust height. They're just on little pins, but they do screw in, so there's no rattling when you're going down the road. Overhead here, you'll see we installed an undercab light, so we have an LED undercab light. Nice little just touch button here. So they're not dimmable, but nice bright lighting, kind of a task-specific lighting, obviously specific for cooking, but gives you some really nice lighting for cutting veggies, cooking, doing all that stuff. So it's nice to have that there. Up top, we have our overhead cabinet. So we did kind of double doors on the side, and then a little microwave here in the middle. So small microwave, but about van-sized. And yeah, it works great, simple, and really fits kind of nicely with the design of this custom build. All right, moving to the back, we have some additional storage over here, kind of like a nice large cubby area. Also another one behind me here on this side. So another big cubby, additional storage. And yeah, we'll start talking about the beds. So again, our bi-slide bed, this is inspired from our classic design, but we were able to utilize it here in this custom build. So a couple latches underneath that retain the bed. And so once those are loosened, they're already loosened right now. Go ahead and grab the kick plate. So these are our colored kick plates that come in 4 different accent colors. This is our gray color here. But simply grab the bed, slide it out. And it's a 2-piece mattress, so simply grab the section of mattress and slide it right into place. Pretty fast, gets you a lot of space back really quickly. And one of the key reasons for using this bed in this particular design is because this lower bed platform, while it's a nice decking and allows for some secondary sleeping area, also converts into a couch as well. So if you look down here, you'll see these little indexing plungers right here. So we'll pop these loose and just give them a little quarter turn right there. So that's its locked in position. Little half twist there. And you can see it a little bit better on these ones here. So these are little set pins. So they pop out and they clip in, and so they're actually attached to this rail that's attached to the cabinet. And that's how this thing stays in, so this thing can't come loose while you're driving. So those are like pin in. So I'll undo both sides here. Make sure this one's undone. And then this little central handle, this guy pulls right up. And then just use the adjustment straps here to set the couch angle. That's comfort level. And really quick kind of secondary seating area for hangout. And with the bed stowed back, the couch can come up. So that was one of the main reasons for using this bed design with the lower tier platform. Gave us that real quick option to be able to turn this into a couch. And otherwise, if this bed was a fixed platform that came all the way out to here, you know, not only would it be kind of this tight little nook under here, but also this wouldn't have the clearance to be able to swing up. So this is fully removable. How I showed you how those pins work. You can just undo all the pins and all of these platforms lift out, including the back one. So if I pull this forward, you'll see the back platform is still in place. And it just has the 4 pins there that hold that rear platform in. And so you can see our rail system that we've designed that attaches to the cabinetry. And then these guys just pin right in. So once you're all done, go ahead and loosen this guy. Put the pins back in. Go. And you're all set. So it converts back and forth really quickly, gives you some additional hangout area for when the car is parked, and then when you go into sleep mode, slide the bed out, have the kind of lower platform. If you're doing a lot of skiing, you know, have 2 or 3 buddies that come along with you and slide all the gear underneath, crash in the van, get the heater cranking, and creates a really nice space that converts in and out. And if you don't need the lower platform, you're carrying bikes and it's just 2 people, remove the platforms, you still got the upper bed, and works really well. So last thing, let's talk about the control panel and kind of how the electrical system works. And so yeah, this is pretty standard for most of our builds. You'll kind of see our control panel. So this is where you'll be interfacing to control the entire van. So to turn everything off and on, everything is right here in a nice tight little package and keeps it really organized. You only see what you need to see and nothing else. So up top here, this is the inverter remote. So simply press the button, turns the inverter on. So this is our 120 volt power. So this particular rig has 400 amp hours of lithium ion batteries. The batteries connect directly to the inverter, and the inverter takes that 12 volt DC power and converts it to 120 volt AC power. So this is what powers the hot water heater, the cooktop, the microwave, and all of the standard outlets that you'll find in your house. So everything else like the fridge, the water pump, all the lighting, the fans, the heater, those are all powered directly off the battery and don't require an inverter to run those appliances. Once the inverter is on, if you're ready to cook, we can turn the Galley on. Hear that little beep in the background. So that's actually an induction stove just turned on. So now we have power to the stove. We can turn it on. We can select heat or temperature and turn it up and down as needed. So nice recess. It's a flush mount unit. Really sleek and works great. Turn that guy off, and then you'll see here we also have a switch. This is like our little breaker panel. So we have the microwave we can turn on. There's the microwave. We can turn the hot water heater on, and we can send power to all the outlets. So we have an outlet on the kitchen. We have an outlet on the exterior, the waterproof one, and then we have one up here by the bed as well for plugging in computers, cell phones, all that stuff. So that's the inverter. That's how the 120 volt AC system works. And as I mentioned before, the inverter is also a charger. So as soon as you plug into shore power, the inverter takes over, starts charging the batteries, and then also distributes power directly to this breaker panel. And then you can choose which appliances you have on and off, depending if you need them or not. So moving on down, we have the Webasto rheostat control, so very simple. It's on 0 right now. We can rotate it. About midway is about 75 degrees. All the way to the right is about 95 degrees. So it'll get it real cranking in here real fast. And like I said, the Evo 40 is a great unit. We're one of the only tech certified Webasto centers here in Colorado, and we do service for people all across the country. And we do a lot of Webasto. We've got a couple of small switches here. So new to this build and kind of becoming a standard for us now is we're actually putting heating pads on both the freshwater tank and on the gray water tank. So we didn't show you underneath the van, but there is a small 9-gallon gray water tank that the Galley drains into. And we actually have an electric heating pad mounted directly to the bottom of that, as well as the freshwater tank. So when we turn the switch on, it sends power to the heating pads, but then the heating pads are also on a thermostat, so they won't turn on until the temperature gets down to around 40 degrees. And once it hits 40 degrees, the heating pads kick on, and they won't turn off until it hits around 50 degrees. So you leave it on during the winter time, it's going to help to keep those things from freezing. If it gets too cold, you're never going to be able to stop the freezing from happening, but it goes a long ways to keep some heat flowing into those water tanks and minimize the potential for freezing. The other button down here is for the water pump, so we can turn the water pump on and off if we want to fill the hot water heater and run the faucet or the spray down shower in the back. The water pump has to be on. The last little unit here is the Victron Energy BMV 712. And this is our monitoring system. So this will actually monitor battery temperature, voltage, current, gives you history. You can actually Bluetooth into it. It gets you lots of information. The batteries are also Victron Energy. They make really nice products. Highly recommend them. And yeah, and so really nice to have, especially if you like to geek out on numbers like I do. You can get in there and see what things have been doing, how much sun you've been getting, how much power you've been using, all that fun stuff. So last little thing here, we just got the remote control for the fan. So one fan does control both remotes. They use the same signal, but it is very directional. So you really have to point it at that fan or point it at the other fan to make sure that it works. So hope you liked the video. Hope you got some good information from it. If you got any questions, comments, leave them down below. We'll do our best to answer them. And as always, check us out at titanvans.com. Like and follow us here on YouTube. We got lots of cool videos coming out. We're going to be doing a lot of how-tos and DIY videos here shortly. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.